Alright, what's up guys? Today we're diving into a crazy story from our entitled people. Get ready to hear about how one couple tried to get another to pay for their B&B stay. The title is Other Couple Told Proprietor That We Agreed to Pay One Night of Their B&B. I know, wild, right? Let's get into it. Additional info at bottom December 23rd, 24. So my husband and I 50s are friendly with some neighbors 70s and have had a relationship with them for a couple of years. This mostly consists of playing dominoes, us taking them out to eat for their birthdays, and my husband assisting them with household issues. Since we both travel for work, occasionally they will bring our garbage/recycling cans in and just check on the house. Back in May, we joined them in a nearby tourist city for the husband's 75th birthday at the behest of the wife. My husband and I each cut our workday short to meet them for drinks and then buy them dinner. We were joined for drinks by the owner of the B&B where they were staying. During the drinking, the wife let us know that they were planning to return to this same city for their anniversary in late December. They invited us to join them at the same B&B in front of the owner for this endeavor. We replied that we might come for one night. Fast forward 7 months and our discussions regarding joining them at the B&B have mostly centered around the weather and that we would go on the trip if we could get up the mountain. We learned the week before that this would be 2 nights as the B&B does not rent for one night only. We decided that was fine, and luckily the weather complied, so we went. Our friends arrived before we did and took the larger/nicer of the 2 rooms. We arrived a little later and took our room without complaint. The proprietor of the B&B informed us that breakfast had been chosen for us by the other couple. They have some diet restrictions and we don't. This made the wife mad that he said that, but the owner was correct and breakfast was delicious anyway. We spent that whole day shopping in town and we treated them to meals and old-time photos. Never once did they thank us or mention us hosting them. On the day we were leaving, the proprietor took my husband aside and explained that the wife of the other couple had informed him that we said we would pay for one night of their lodging. Apparently, we had offered to do this 7 months earlier during the original discussion of the trip. My husband did not recall agreeing to this and neither did the proprietor, so it was very awkward. We had to leave a little earlier than our friends did, so we agreed to pay our 2 nights and one of theirs. The proprietor was very embarrassed and told us that in all his years of business he had never had this happen before. He even discounted the rates as he felt bad that we were bulldozed into paying for our friends. We enjoyed our last breakfast and our friends then thanked us for hosting them. We did not acknowledge this as it seemed very insincere and only came after she knew the bills were settled. My husband and I both realized this is the end of the relationship. We did not mind that our birthdays were never recognized or considered and that the favors mostly went in one direction. But it felt so shady that the wife went to the owner of the B&B to make sure he got us to pay for them and they didn't even discuss it with us beforehand. Not just entitled, but quite underhanded as well. I guess they can find some other younger couple to do their bidding for them since we will no longer be participating in the friendship. Sorry, was trying not to make the post too long and didn't make some things very clear. I may have offered to help them out when we discussed the trip back in May. That's why I was fine with paying it. What I didn't like is that in all the time we spent with them in the 7 months leading up to the trip, not one time did either of them confirm with us that we would pay for one night. Especially since both my husband and I thought the trip was one night in total. When we learned the trip was 2 nights, they still never mentioned anything about us paying for one of their nights. Not only that, the wife made sure to talk to the proprietor and not us. She made him come collect from us. The poor guy was put in a really awkward position because he didn't want to argue with a 77-year-old woman. He did not get paid twice as it was acknowledged in front of everyone that we were paying for one of their nights. Update December 23rd, 24. I wrote the original post yesterday after we returned from this experience. While we were on the trip, a Christmas gift that I had ordered for the other couple arrived, so we decided to take it over to their house after they got home. Plus, my hubby decided he did not want to let the issue fester and needed to be discussed. I would like to reiterate that this is not about the money for us, but rather the furtive way that she approached the B&B owner rather than speaking with us. He opened the conversation with, "So what happened with the billing?" A nice, open-ended question that gave the 77W70's wife plenty of opportunity to address any way she wanted. First, she played dumb. Hubby repeated the question 2 more times before she acknowledged the issue. Her immediate reaction was to call the B&B owner a liar for telling us that she approached him to put one of their nights on our bill. Next, it was insistence that I had offered to pay. I do not deny that I may have offered 7 months ago. I'm just shocked that she never brought it up with me before making the B&B owner change the billing. Then she resorted to outright lies, telling us that she had thanked us in advance for our generosity / rewriting history to suit her story / covering up other previous lies. It was sad to witness. My very patient husband had enough at this point and simply told them he was very disappointed, turned to me and said, "Let's go." As I turned to leave, they handed me a gift bag from the B&B owner with a very nice note and Christmas ornament inside. Yesterday evening, she sent an email to my husband only with no apology or regret for her actions. Blamed me for the misunderstanding and continued to trip over her own lies. Sent me an animated Christmas card via email. We are not responding to either as we consider the friendship over. Bonus background that made it easy to end contact with them. While we were at the B&B enjoying morning coffee and chatting, 77W and I had a conversation regarding our respective dog care that went like this. 77W, who's taking care of your dogs while you're here? Me, they are at the boarding place that we always use. We are really happy with them and our dogs enjoy it there. 77W, I hired a woman someone else recommended to stay in the house and take care of the pets. She came over the other day and I showed her the whole house and what to do with the animals. Before she came back over, I booby-trapped the doors for the rooms she doesn't need to go in. Me, what? You're trying to injure the caretaker you hired? 77W, that's not what I meant. Me, you said you booby-trapped your house? Why would you do that? 77W, I mean I set traps so I will know if she went in rooms she doesn't need to go in. Me, if you don't trust her, why would you hire her to take care of your pets and put your whole home at risk? 77W, well, I just want to see if she goes in the rooms she doesn't need to. She's sleeping in the master bedroom since that's where the dog's bed is, and I want to know if she goes in the other rooms. Me, this is why we prefer to board our dogs rather than hire someone we don't know to come to the house. But that is your choice. I just wouldn't put my whole home and pets at risk if I felt the need to booby-trap the house. 77W, huffs, puffs, dramatically covers her face, tells me I'm breaking her heart and runs out of the room. Additional info at hubby's request. At the end of the above conversation regarding dog care, 77W tried to get me to use her caretaker while simultaneously lying and telling me she trusts her because she's known her for years. Also, this is only one example of her stomping off and pouting like a petulant child when she doesn't get her way or is upset that we don't agree with her. I have a text from November from 77W in which she explicitly stated that she wanted to eat at the same restaurant we took them to last time we were in the tourist city and that it would be their treat. When the bill came, the server placed it on the table between 77W and my husband. It sat for a couple of minutes before my hubby finally realized OL Alligator Arms was not going to touch it, so he picked it up and pulled out his credit card. Not a word from them. If we have plans with them to play dominoes, we will each get 18 texts in 48 hours firming up where we are playing, what time, what food am I bringing, etc. But a plan to go out of town with someone else that you believe has offered to pay your lodging? Crickets. Okay, wow, that's a lot to unpack. So, like, they might have offered to pay months ago? I can see how that's easy to forget. But the wife going behind their backs to the B&B owner is super shady. And then lying about thanking them? That's just messed up. Booby-trapping the house? What is going on with this lady? Good on them for ending the friendship. Now, let's see what the Reddit community thinks about this. The owner of the B&B should have been smart enough to know this might be a scam and ask you before he charged you. He did. This is totally in character for the wife, so we accepted it as the price we would pay to exit the friendship. Ouch. Yeah, they can consider themselves cut off. Yeah, they lost out due to greed. It's not like young people are typically banging down any door to hang with the elderly. So this couple was very fortunate to have you guys checking in on them. 7 months prior, maybe we can come up for one night. Could the wife have twisted that into we'd like to cover one night for your room? You know her well. Without speaking to you beforehand, are you sure you're okay with this? It's quite an expensive gift for our anniversary something. Anything would have been better than telling the B&B owner behind your back. You have articulated my point better than I did. Exactly this. Sorry you have to go through the next phase. I hope they don't live immediately next door. They say you can't put a price on friendship, but actually you can. It's less than the cost of a night at a B&B. Yeah, I had a friend like this always asking me to buy/send them food, and they live in a different state. Luckily, I've never had a problem in refusing their requests, but they didn't even bother sending me a text wishing me happy birthday, December 10th. So now I've decided to block them and my life is better for it. Some PPL. I hope you found this story and the comments interesting. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.